Hi, it's Olga. I hope you are having a great weekend. Today is the time for my weekly planner video. I am creating weekly spreads for my planner myself using a journal with blank craft pages. I always start by attaching some washi tape to the blank page, and then I'm creating the layout that would match that washi tape. I'm choosing washi tapes randomly, and in most cases I have no idea what I'm gonna be creating. So I consider this planner art to be a kind of creative exercise. I'm challenging myself to create a lot of different things at one go. For the month of May, I will be creating 5 layouts, so sit back, relax, and let's get started. As always, I'm starting by opening my planner, and I'm going to take all the pages that I need off the rings. Then I'm attaching the washi tape. The one I'm using has tiny little dinosaurs on it. Being a mother of a 4-year-old boy, I just had to make at least one layout dinosaur themed. I'm trimming off the excess tape with the scissors, and now I'm ready to start creating. I'll be using my distress markers. I think they are great for planners and sketchbooks because they don't bleed through pages. I'm going to use the fine tip of chipped sapphire distress marker to divide the page into 4, like you can see here. I'm using a scrap piece of paper as a stencil. I'm aligning it with a marker line, and then I'm applying some chipped sapphire distress ink with a blending tool. I'm starting at the scrap paper, then moving out of the edge to create soft blending. Then I'm switching to the next color, which is dried marigold, and I'm applying it the same way on the opposite edge of this section. I'll be using the same 2 ink shades to apply some more color to all the remaining sections on this page. Then with a paper napkin, I'm removing the ink from washi tape. You can also use a baby wipe. I'm going to use those sticker sheets, all dinosaur themed by Echo Park. As I mentioned, my son loves dinosaurs. Just let me demonstrate. Mikey, who is this?
A pteranodon.
Pteranodon, and who's that?
And maybe a T-Rex.
And who's this?
It's not a T-Rex, it's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Brachiosaurus.
And who's that?
Spinosaurus.
And this one?
Triceratops.
Triceratops. And who is this little guy?
It's a Stegosaurus.
Cool. Thanks, Mikey.
Mommy, we need to put on the Stegosaurus.
I have put it right here.
Get stuck here. It's got stuck at the glue.
Yeah, it's stuck like glue because it was a sticker. Anyway, now I'm going to use the stickers from the same 2 sheets to spell the word May. Then I'm attaching a volcano and a pterodactyl to create a little prehistoric scene. I'm using word stickers and smaller images as embellishments. For the right page, I have attached a word sticker, and then I'm drawing some lines around it to divide the page into sections, 1 section for each day. Then I am adding some orange and blue colors exactly the same way I did before. Then I'm attaching a Stegosaurus sticker in that large window. You already know this guy. Then I'm also attaching a couple of dinosaur eggs as embellishments. All there is left to do now is to stamp the dates. I'm going to use my dater stamp and a navy blue ink. As always, I'm only stamping the dates and a month because I don't need a year to be stamped each time. The first window or section is for the last day of April, and all the remaining ones are for the month of May. The first spread is now finished, and I'm moving on to the next one, and the theme is Monochromatic watercolor butterflies. I'll be creating the entire spread with this stamp set. It's Golden Garden by Altenew. It's all about the flowers, not the butterflies, but I think it will be a perfect match. The idea here is to divide the first page into 3 parts and the second page into 4 parts for 7 days of the week. I have placed my pages into the stamping tool, and I'm going to stamp all the images with Memento TUXEDO black ink. I'm going to combine a lot of images, nearly all of them, to create those garlands of flowers that are going to serve as dividers. Some of the images from this set are single layer and others are double layer images. For double layer ones, I'll be using gray ink as well. To add a bit more shading to the images, I'm going to use a craft nib by Holtz. It's a felt nib similar to those that are used in markers. I'm just picking up some ink from the ink pad and rubbing it onto the image, and this is what the result looks like. Very, very soft shading. I'm going to create the other page the same way. I'm also going to add some curved lines by touching the page very, very lightly with the edge of the ink pad. Then again, I'm applying some gray ink with the craft nib. I have used the dater stamp again to stamp all the dates, and now the second layout is finished. The third one is going to be all in shades of red and brown. For this layout, I'm going to use another stamp set. This one is by Poppy Stamps and it's called Flower Patch. It's really easy to use, much easier than the previous one. I'm starting by stamping the sentiment with brown ink at the corner of one of the pages. Then with a brown marker and a ruler, I'm tracing 2 lines around that sentiment. I'm using a piece of paper as a mask again to mask off certain areas and add shading around them. I'm also adding more brown shading all around the edges of the paper. I keep drawing more lines to create more sections until I have enough of them for each day of the week, and I also keep adding more shading as I go. Then I'm going to stamp another sentiment that goes Happy Summer. It's the spring, of course, but it feels a lot like summer already. I'm going to use one solid flower stamp from this image, and I'm going to stamp it with red ink repeatedly in that sentiment window to create a kind of pattern. I will also be adding more of those flowers here and there in different windows on this layout. As I said, this stamp set is extremely easy to use. Then I'm going to add centers to all the flowers using the small die from the same set and some brown ink. There are also 2 solid leaf stamps, a bigger one and a smaller one, and I'm going to use them both to add leaves to all the flowers. Again, I'm using brown ink for stamping the leaves, and I'm going to use the same brown ink to stamp all the dates. That was the third layout for today, and now let's move on to the fourth one. That one has colorful banner washi tape attached to it. I decided to go with Eco Park stickers again, since I have a lot of them left. I'm starting by adding some vintage photo distress ink at the bottom of the right page, thus I'm going to create the ground. Then I'm going to plant this large palm tree at the right side of the page. And I'm going to trim off the leaves that hang off the edge of the paper. I'm also going to add this cave boy to my composition, but because he's a part of the label, I will need to fussy cut him. I'm leaving a thin border as I go. Then I'm going to place him right under the palm tree. I'm adding one more sentiment sticker from the same set. That one says play. Then again, I'm using a ruler and a marker to draw some lines to divide the page into sections. And just as before, I'm adding distress ink coloring using this scrap piece of paper as a stencil. The colors I use this time are dried marigold and shabby shutters. I nearly forgot to mention that you can find the list of supplies that I'm using on my blog as well as in the description down below. For the second page, I'm attaching the palm leaves that I have trimmed before, so that nothing's going to waste. Then I am adding more stickers, more traced lines, and more shading to finish off the page. I'm also going to do all the date stamping with a dark brown ink. This is what the finished spread looks like. Now let's move on to the next one, and this one features some blue feathers. Although I'm not going to use any more feathers for this layout, I will be using the shades of blue and gray that are on the washi tape. And I'm gonna go with those two sticker sheets by Tim Holtz. To start with, I'm detaching that piece from the sticker sheet, which is not the sticker itself but the negative space around it, because I'm going to use it as a guide for stamping. I'm placing that frame so that it overlaps the washi tape a little bit. The stamp set I'll be using this time is Spring Lilacs by Memory Box, and I'm going to use that large image first. I'm inking up the stamp with the blue ink, and I'm stamping it right inside of this oval frame. To color the lilacs, I'm going to use distress markers, several shades of blue, plus one bluish-green color for the leaves. I'm starting by coloring the leaf, and then I will be doing the flowers. For the lilacs, I'm using lighter and darker shades of blue randomly to color all the flowers. I'm not doing them in any particular order, just trying to introduce all the shades that I have. Here is the tricky part. I'm placing the oval frame inside that guide, and I'm going to mark the line just where the washi tape goes. And then I have to detach this frame again. The sticker is repositionable, so it's easy to do. Now I'm placing the frame inside the paper trimmer, and I'm aligning the marked edge with the edge of the blade and trimming it down. Then I can finally stick the frame onto its place and remove the guide. I'm going to use the sticker strips from the same set as dividers for the days of the week. I'm sticking all the strips horizontally to divide the page into 4 parts. These are for the 4 last days of May. I'm going to use those alphabet stickers to spell the word June at the top of the right page. Then I'm going to add more strips as dividers. I'm also going to attach one more smaller oval frame to be able to stamp more lilacs inside. I'm using the smaller lilac stamp from the same set and it fits right inside. I have colored the flowers the same way and now I'm going to add more individual flowers all around the pages. Then I'm going to rub on some tumbled glass distress ink onto the pages just to add a little bit more blue. This is what the last spread looks like. I just have to add the dates. Now I'm stacking all the pages and placing them all back inside my journal. Now let's have a look at all 5 layouts. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Have a beautiful day. I hope to see you again really soon.